Hey everyone, I'm Steve from GamersNexus.net, and we've got some Star Citizen and Squadron 42 coverage for you. This video is looking at the CitizenCon 2015 event, which had Chris Roberts and team showcasing the new Squadron 42 Hollywood cast, the Star Citizen Alpha 2.0 impending launch, which Chris, in his demonstration, said something to the tune of, "I'm not giving dates because everybody gives me shit for dates, so it will be coming within the area of," and the crowd interrupted him and suggested the word soon. So Chris went with soon. So the update is coming soon with no date this time, probably a good thing. And other than this information, we saw a demo of the multi-crew that was functional. We saw EVAing, or zero gravity propulsion, from your spacesuit between ships and satellites and things like that. And then got some information on the Squadron 42 cast, which is the single player version or single player accompaniment to Star Citizen. Definitely an important thing that's been fairly undiscussed up until this point. The B-roll I'm showing you is primarily from the demonstration. It shows the Star Citizen 2.0 Alpha and its new features, including functional multi-crew, alongside the Constellation demonstrating multi-crew combat, where some players are manning the turrets, others are pilots, and things of that nature. There's also a Hornet pilot, which is a single crew fighter ship, and we later see that player eject from the Hornet and then EVA, or transit in spacesuit flight, from their ship to a comm satellite, and that satellite is deactivated in space. Their mission was to reactivate the satellite, which is what we see going on here, and that's done by navigating through a series of very Star Trek Geordie LaForge-like tubes and vents and things like that, with some pretty decent graphics for a game that's in an alpha. So you can see all of that. Other big news for Star Citizen Alpha 2.0 includes integration with missions. So there are 38 playable missions as of the presentation's announcement. There is social integration, first-person shooter combat, EVA or zero gravity transit, space flight, as has already been in the game, and space flight will now include a more precise version of the landing and takeoff setup. So if you have issues with it in the dogfighting alpha, it's because it's not built for landing and takeoff, it's built for combat, so that's an upgrade as well. And in addition to this, there's functional buggies, functional respawn, increased players per instance count. If you're curious about the instancing system, check out our previous content with Chris on that. And then perhaps more interestingly, there is what the team called Large World Technology, which introduces a playable area of 1 million kilometers squared by 200,000 kilometers high. So that's a pretty big area. If you do the volume of that, it's a couple quadrillion kilometers. So this is, to put it into comparison, probably the largest game world I've ever heard of, at least, even with some of the other space sims, in terms of numbers that we have access to. Not all game worlds reveal their size. But to put it in perspective, the CIG team in the presentation said that Elder Scrolls 2, which is the largest game they could find a square area for, has a 161,000 kilometer squared playable space. Obviously, there's vertical space as well in Star Citizen and Squadron 42, so that's a big addition to this, but Star Citizen's team and Chris Roberts as the presenter clarify that there will be controls in place to ensure that players don't spend several hours traveling in boring low propulsion or even light speed travel from one system to the next. So there will be controls in place. They're making sure it's not just all dead empty space, but that it's still big enough to make it clear that you're actually in outer space. Now let's talk about Squadron 42. This is the single player campaign component of the game. It's been pretty undiscussed up until this point, but it's made big news at the CitizenCon 2015 event. Squadron 42 introduces a Hollywood-grade cast of voice actors who, interestingly, were involved in the motion capture process as well. This is not standard. In games, generally you hire the voice actor, they take a booth or a studio, record their lines, and then there's effectively a stand-in who performs their actions in game, and that's because you don't normally need the actor there to do stuff like pretend to swing a sword or walk around or whatever. In the case of Squadron 42, they've involved Gary Oldman, they've involved the other actors, Mark Hamill, who is known for playing Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, of course, and they got them on site to act their lines live and do all the actions live so that they could record by way of facial scanning and 3D tracking the actual face movements, the mouth movements, all that stuff of the actors, so you get a more true to feel performance as would be found in cinema or TV. The cast is comprised of a couple of well-known actors. We don't have all of them yet, but we have a good amount of them, as you can see here. We don't know all their characters either. We know that Gary Oldman is playing Admiral Bishop, and he is best known probably for his role as Commissioner Gordon in the Batman movies. Gillian Anderson is known for her X-Files roles, and she plays Oldman's character's daughter in Squadron 42. Mark Hamill, known for being Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, was present. We don't know who his character is just yet. And the same is true for Mark Strachan, who's known for roles in Kingsman and Sherlock Holmes and Imitation Game. John Rhys-Davies played in Lord of the Rings as Gimli, and he was present in our B-roll we received, as was Liam Cunningham, who played Captain White in Squadron 42, though we don't really know who that is just yet. The first major content from Squadron 42 includes Admiral Bishop's speech as performed by Gary Oldman, and that can be found on our YouTube channel separately from this content, so hit that Gamers Nexus link, the icon, and then just click one of the most recent 2 videos. You will find his speech there. It is about 4 minutes long and provides some backstory to Squadron 42, including discussion on war with the Vanduul, or the aliens who are somewhat comparable to barbarians in space. So that's what the speech talks about. We have some further coverage coming talking about the technical underlying nitty-gritty features and development process when it comes to the face tracking, character animation, and creation of the characters who are related to motion captured actors, and all that stuff will be coming shortly. So subscribe to the channel. If you like this kind of content, hit the Patreon link in our post-roll video. Definitely helps us remain independent and produce high quality content like this. And you'll find a full article linked in the description below if you'd rather have a written version to pass around, and we do encourage sharing it as always. So thanks for watching. I will see you all next time.